Dude, you're buying stuff left and right.
Good morning, Mike Schein. Yes, I am.
Schein, holistic attorney, massive income from passive income.
I love it. Yeah, we are buying some property. You know what's funny? We went for a little walk this morning. Well, I've been asking Dorina to help me run. She can run like 5, 6 miles in a day, and I'm looking to just run like half a mile to get my heart to that point.
Yeah,
And so, we're doing this like mostly walking, but a little bit of run thing.
nice job.
And thanks, man. Just want to live a little longer. Want to live good. So I told her, like, I'm walking by an 11-unit building that I had under agreement like 6 years ago. I had under agreement for 500,000, and it always bothers me because it was seller financing. Like, all I had to do was bring 10% to the table. I just didn't know how to get the 10%, and the seller financing was like 8%. It was dirt cheap, and
Yeah,
I choked. I didn't do the deal.
okay.
So now the building's worth like $1 million. So like a million, 1.1 million, right? So
Yeah.
every time I walk by, it's right next to my house. Every time I walk by, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
So my comment was, I just looked at her. I was like, dude, babe, I got to buy more stuff. I just
Yeah.
start buying more. And she's like, you're doing good. And I was like, yeah, I want more. We got to buy quicker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I'd like to talk to you about that afterwards because I want more.
yeah,
So I don't know if my area, so if you can help me maybe get some stuff in Fall River or whatever, but
yeah, man.
I don't want, I love what we have and I want more too.
Yeah, I love that.
And I have the money right now for the down payment, so why do I have to keep myself to North Kingstown, which doesn't, when you pull out on the map, doesn't show up,
Right.
which I learned from Gualta Amarillo.
So when
Pull out,
investing,
yeah,
pull out.
and it's just, oh shit, where did North Kingstown go on the Google map?
So when it comes to investing, and this is a freebie, right? If you're looking to decide on an area, if you pull out on Google Map and your city disappears,
Yeah,
you might want to look at a different city.
yeah. So I was hoping maybe we could talk about getting something like a 6 unit or higher,
Yeah,
and then using your property
property
manager,
manager.
so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
always looking for more business. She gives me the high five when I hook her up with some more business. So
Cool.
she can handle more. She's doing really well.
There's Mitch.
Yeah, man. Mitch is coming in. Mitch Jaworski, everybody, the Scaredy-Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing.
Oh.
He's
All
going
for
on.
the-
Hey, Mitch.
So, Mike, you've read this book, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
good.
at my office, but I have it at home.
You have it at the house. Okay. So you're in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
I finally have it in person.
Nice. But I have a special edition with the defective introduction, so
Yes.
that one's gonna be worth thousands of dollars in the future.
You know what's frustrating about mine?
But
And Mitch, I got to know how this didn't happen. But while you were here, you spent a night at my house, and this
Didn't
did not get signed.
Was it there?
It was not here. Okay, it was not here. That's the reason.
That I was like,
Yeah.
if it was there, I didn't see it.
Okay, no. All right.
It sounds so silly, but I was opening it up the other day and I saw the autograph and I was saying to Brenda, I was so excited. I'm like, look at this, it's autographed.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
You got the Amazon was saving trees version by
Yeah, exactly.
truncating pages on the intro.
It's like when you get one of those stamps that's upside down and then it's worth like millions of dollars. Like,
There you go. One can
That's-
only
hold
hope.
on to it.
That's the
Yeah.
version.
So this is a really great book for beginner real estate investors. But I really wanted to talk to Mitch more about the cryptocurrency stuff because you have a book on that too, correct?
Good old crypto. Yeah, I did a short ebook on that, teaching the basics. Because honestly, every book usually stems from something, and this one stems from the fact that during like 2018, when crypto was going crazy, I'm going to all the real estate meetups, and things get hot. So the conversation in every real estate meetup, at some point, crypto would come up within these real estate meetups. And the thing I heard over and over again is, like, it seems cool and I'd love to get involved, but what the heck is it?
Right.
I said that
So-
every time somebody mentions crypto.
Yeah.
And that literally is how the title of the book was born, you know. So, you know, Scaredy-Cat Guide to knowing what the heck Bitcoin is. And that's
Right.
really all it is. It's just answering that question. Because what I think people get confused with crypto is that um, crypto coins are not the actual technology. It's the blockchain. That's the real technology that crypto brings to us. And I basically explain the blockchain in just a short kind of layman's term, and then talk about, you know, and Bitcoin's the main example, but I do talk about some other cryptocurrencies that exist, which a lot of people don't even realize that. They think crypto, they just think Bitcoin, kind of like, you know, you think Kleenex for tissue. Um,
You know what happens to me every time like a smart person says uh, blockchain? Like literally my mind shuts off. I'm like, oh, it's not cryptocurrency, it's blockchain. And I'm like lost. And like words come out and they explain what this blockchain is. And I
so
like, Connor,
simple.
you having the same experience?
Yeah.
Listen, it's like anything else. You can make it as complicated as you want. I mean, there's plenty of things that I openly admit I can't just speak on off the top of my head, because there's different types of blockchain. There's proof of stake, and there's like 3 or 4 other ones. I don't even know the ins and outs of all of them. I know what I need to know in order to invest with, you know, some intelligence, and then understand, you know, what exactly the purpose of the coin is. And that's a big thing, that when it comes to someone that wants to invest in crypto, just understand what the use case of the coin is. And then if you believe in that, then invest in it. If you don't, then it's just like, well, what am I doing besides just gambling on Tesla stock? I mean, I'm sorry, did I?
Wow.
Now, Mitch, arguably your strategy, Mike, I'm going to defend you for a second.
It's hurtful.
For a second, your strategy technically is gambling. Because you shorted Tesla.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gambling by day trading. So yeah, ironically, Tesla wanted to play nice today and literally just go down right off the open. Of course, the day that I'm not messing with it. But,
Right.
I will say this: in the last 3 days, the last 3 trading days, so Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, I traded Tesla all 3 days, to the short side, because you know, a pullback was needed in my opinion. Luckily, I did. I started off down. I
Mike
lost.
kindly disagrees.
Well, I ended up making money, thankfully.
Yeah.
I also lost 3 years of my life in stress. So the lesson is, don't day trade Tesla unless you want your heart rate to go up.
Right?
I love that.
Where were you? Where were you when you were trying to buy it back on your short? You got the doctor's office.
Oh no! So what happened was, so I thought I have a talent for being early, whether it's recognizing a top in a market, recognizing whatever it is. Like I'm always early, and that was the case with Tesla. So I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday last week, I started looking to short it, and then I was fighting it Thursday, Friday, and then finally we got the big down day on Monday. And I was in front of my machine the whole time, and of course that down day had to come in the afternoon of Monday when I was at the physical therapist, finally getting some help with my foot. That's been a problem for a while now. And I just looked at the guy. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but I need to multitask. Like, because like it was collapsing. We got to sell off the market. We got to sell off in Tesla. And I'm just like,
There actually was a connection made on one of the stock sites between foot pain and being a hater of Elon Musk. So
that might make sense.
So it is.
So if I just start celebrating Elon, then I can start playing basketball again.
Feel much better.
The study has been in existence for a while now, Mitch.
But here's the reality of it. I own Tesla in my IRA. Granted, I only have 1 share. At one point, I had 25 shares, which I wish I would have held on to. But so the moral of the story is, technically, I've been long Tesla for, I don't even know, like 3 years now, at least. So I guess that neutralizes my intraday shorts.
Got a lot of gains in that.
Yeah, there have been. Unfortunately, like I said, didn't hold more of it. But in the end, you know, it goes back to that's the day trader in me. When I see something that gets overextended, I can't help but want to be like, all right, I can take advantage of a coming pullback. Doesn't mean there's going to be one, because like the awesome saying goes that I've preached for years, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
Yes. Absolutely true. I love that.
That's how shorts get wrecked.
Although I also, let me just defend Tesla for a little bit. Okay, so there are a lot of long-term investors, not traders, in Tesla. And it's like an onion for me, because every time I go on YouTube and I watch another program, they talk about some other technology that is under the Tesla umbrella. And it just keeps going and going. You're like, oh, they've got energy storage, they got batteries, and they got cars. And then you're like, oh, wait, they've got some other technology that's under Tesla. So it keeps growing. And since he's so good at executing, if 5 of the 7 streams of income of Tesla hit, it's a much higher stock. So.
Well, and that's the point. I mean, there's a difference between investing and trading.
Exactly.
I mean, there's people that trade Tesla stock that know zero about anything you just said. You know what I mean?
I see it every morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I wake up in the morning and Tesla's up 50 in the pre-market trading, and you're like, woohoo, it's up 50, and then by 9:30 it's down 3, and you're like, what? That makes no sense whatsoever.
And the beauty is you can trade out Tesla for, a different stock, or even for the market on a whole. I mean, same thing like with the S&P 500. I primarily just trade the index.
Right.
And, we gapped up this morning. I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, there was news from Moderna about, vaccine positive results. Goldman Sachs had good earnings, which big surprise. Goldman always seems to make more money when everyone else is getting beat up. But at the same time, then there was like negative news, like industrial production basically was the worst reading since like post World War II.
Wow. And
it's just like, all right, well, which one's more important? Why is the market up? Does it even matter? So a lot of times we get these gaps up in the market, and even someone that looks at it from a trading standpoint is just like, well, that doesn't seem to make sense, and maybe they're trying to short it or whatever it is. And we get the ebbs and flows, and what you'll see in terms of anyone that's watching the market every day. And a friend of mine kind of did a data study. The majority of returns in the stock market, in the S&P 500 over the last 3 years have literally been made on the gaps. It's not like, so if you bought at the open and sold at the close, you basically were break even for the last 3 years.
Wow.
It was all the money's made in the gaps. So it's just crazy to show like you're getting all this movement. Like It's like they anticipate or and it's all happening pre-market. So it's definitely a different animal.
So 2 things. First of all, this is not financial advice. We're just talking about what we do.
For sure. Thank you, Mike.
Please do your own due diligence and check with stuff. And hopefully we're all playing with money that we can afford to lose, because we're not going crazy. Don't take your mortgage payment and go out to Foxwoods.
Don't take your mortgage payment and buy Tesla either.
And
exactly.
And second of all, Mitch, what's your background that you know so much about stocks? I know where'd you work, for Morgan Stanley, or was it?
I mean, in the end, I'm just a stock market junkie, but yeah. So, I mean, valid point, Mike. I mean, everything I'm kind of blurting out, we kind of just went down a rabbit hole randomly. I don't know if that was awesome.
I love this.
That's what happens when you talk to the cat. We go down rabbit holes. I like to dig. But yeah, so I fell in love with the stock market literally when I was 18. Someone gave me a book called Rolling Stocks, and it was basically just about trading stocks that were stuck in a trend. And then I ended up graduating with an economics degree. I started working for Morgan Stanley. That didn't last long for 2 reasons. One, when you start as a stockbroker, really you're just cold calling and you're a salesman. Yeah. So I got my cold calling experience, which really didn't enjoy. I mean, I'm glad that I got better at it. I'm not afraid to do it. But notice how, like, I always say, hey, if you want to call for me, if you want to be a wholesaler for me, I will pay your wholesale fee. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that's dialing. I mean, I can do it, but I also know it's not my highest and best use.
Nice. That's the excuse I'm going to be using, right?
Yes, exactly. And maybe it is an excuse because I just don't enjoy it, even though I can do it.
I have been trying to get Mike to cold call for weeks now. He's got the headset.
It's still in the package.
But hold on, Galter, let's think about this.
Yes.
The only reason Mike should do any cold calling is just to get the experience so that he can speak on it.
Exactly.
After that, he should never, ever pick up a phone.
That's my point.
Walter said that. That's
I just wanted to do it.
you
Do
get
it. So Mike, do it for a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or if
Walter,
you spread
send me
it
a
out, do it
list.
for a month.
Send me a list and I'll do it Friday. Okay.
I'm gonna send you a list for Fall River.
Yeah.
It's already
I'll do it
ready
Friday.
to go.
I'll do it
All
Friday.
right.
But if I get a 6 unit, I'm not giving it to you.
See what I'm saying?
Even
I'll send you
better.
a New
Mike.
Bedford list.
Right.
You're gonna get Galter's like C- list.
We burnt through this one already.
And I also need the script that goes bon dia.
Bom dia.
You know, here's the thing. As funny as that is, it really is
Oh,
an
it's-
advantage. I mean, it's no different than honestly, like I wanted to learn Spanish decades ago. I tried a couple times. I failed miserably. Learning languages is not my strong point. Maybe I just need to do it in a different way. Like there's new technologies now than there were, back when it was just classroom learning. But if I-
Duolingo, day 106 for Mike Schein.
there you
Nice.
go. You see, and this is why I aspire to be like Mike Schein.
Mike, what language are you learning? Is it cryptocurrency? Are you learning the blockchain?
No, Espanol.
Espanol, nice man.
Well,
Actually a little easier for me because I did I speak French, or I used to speak it fluently, and I lived in France for a year. So it's very Spanish and French are Romance languages. They both come from Latin, so they're very similar, and just some of the rules you got to get used to it. But yeah,
Mike Schein.
yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Every
You
time
heard
we
that
talk.
story? I went to Tufts University, and they had junior year, 50% of the juniors went away somewhere for that year. And I was
Yeah.
looking at Tufts program because I was a French and an English major. And Tufts program was like someplace where it rained 300 days a year. So I was looking through the thing, and the University of Vermont program was in Nice, France, on the French Riviera. And it was actually even cheaper than the Tufts program. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to spend a year on the French Riviera. Yeah.
That
Very
is awesome.
smart.
Yeah.
Very smart, Mike.
Yep.
Mitch, so I got to ask, you're doing this Bitcoin thing, and I still call it this Bitcoin thing, and you got this stock market thing, which, I've got a little bit. And when I talk about a little bit, I'm talking a fifth, not a fifth, 5% of my portfolio, my net worth is in the stock market. And if I look at cryptocurrency, which I do own some, and I own 7 different cryptos, basically the ones that Robinhood sells. And yeah, the basic trader platform.
I didn't even know they had 7.
They got 7. And so it's like 3 versions of Bitcoin. But and that my net worth, that comes out to 0.05% of my portfolio I have in cryptocurrency. So
Okay.
you can see like what I believe in, and then 94.5% is real estate. So where do you stand, like equity wise yourself? If you were to look at your portfolio, you don't have to give us the equity value, but percentage wise, if you look at what your money's sitting in, rough numbers.
I got to calculate some math. It's sad that here's the thing, Galter. The reason that I actually don't know, I guess I could come up with it in my head, is because the beauty about crypto for me is that I was lucky enough to buy some Bitcoin in 2016. When it was sub. Oh, and the funny part is I regret that because I was looking at it initially in 2013.
Yeah.
But that was when it was still, there was no exchanges. Like you had to like meet someone at a coffee shop and like give them your wallet. I was like, This is shady as hell.
Yeah.
And it goes to show though, like these like limiting beliefs in a way. Although normally that would be shady. But so
what are these nerds doing?
And I didn't really understand it. And that's the thing too. Like, I know my limitations. Like I have a grasp on technology, but I'm definitely not a programmer.
Right.
And programmers, people that have a programming, background and just a knack for it have absolutely crushed it in crypto. I see it even in like the communities I'm in crypto, like them building games on the on the blockchain and the crypto platforms, and how these games are literally like creating a good chunk of net worth for them in like less than a year. I mean, there's a game I play now that's similar. It's basically kind of like The Sims on the blockchain. And I know guys that are literally like making almost a living off of it now. And the game was only created like a year and a half ago.
Problem is, you just said blockchain, so Walter shut down.
Oh, were we talking about something? I'm sorry. What were you guys saying?
Well, because I was going to say on crypto, but that would be incorrect. It's on the blockchain, and the crypto coin is also on the blockchain. Everything's about the blockchain. Listen, real estate title needs to go on a blockchain.
So
real estate, what? Say that
Like
again.
the real estate title, like, you know,
title.
Yep.
title, like the chain of title, that 100% is the ideal candidate for a blockchain.
Now
Wow.
tell us why. Why does real estate make sense?
All right,
with
so
blockchain?
basically a blockchain is literally picture a block with information, and then when that block is processed, another block next to it is created. It's literally like a chain of blocks, and within each block is the information of whatever that transaction was, but also within that is essentially like a hash, and all that is a tag that refers to the previous block. So you're not storing all the previous block's information in the next block. Otherwise, that would just get completely bloated.
Can we, all right, can we have an example? I work better with examples. Okay, so we're talking about the title.
Well, so the only reason I did that explanation.
123 Main Street.
I wish I had like two little like blocks, you know, like a G block
Well,
for me,
ironically,
an M block for Mike.
the
because,
funny
like,
part is that I actually have done webinars explaining this with slides.
Nice.
And again, this is it. Like this example is in the book actually.
So you've got a block and another block, and they're connected. They're connected.
Wait, there's a hashtag between them. Don't
No, but listen, legitimately, like in the Scaredy-Cat Bitcoin book, there is like literally diagrams showing
Okay.
the block and all that stuff.
I'm
But-
gonna buy
so-
that book. That wasn't the intention of having you on, but I'm gonna buy it.
So-
Yeah, I got to buy it too.
And I didn't even know the intention was to end up stumbling into talking about crypto, to be honest. But in the end, the only reason I told you that is because I just wanted to give you the basics of, all right, this. So now the beauty about this is that these blocks, that information, is completely public ledger.
Yep.
Like anyone can see it. And the beauty is it's basically immutable. You can't falsify records or anything because in order to process a block, it's not like I'm doing it. Like you have millions of people mining, and that's essentially what produces the block is these people mining crypto, right? So in order to basically like try and corrupt the block or whatever, you would need to have more than 51% of the whole entire crypto network for that specific blockchain, which is nearly impossible. I mean, put it this way, like if Google as a company wanted to make a run at doing that, they might be able to pull it off, possibly, with their global network. Because that's what people don't realize is that in a lot of ways, what Google does, the reason you can type something into Google and get an answer within fractions of a second is because they have servers all over the globe. They have a network of all, and that's essentially what cryptocurrency did. It just did it with a community. So there's no centralized person. There's no Google.
So I have a question then. So, all right, we're talking, sounds like it's information storage is what the blockchain is or something.
To an extent.
Okay, so what does that have to do with monetizing and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin? I don't see.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Maybe it doesn't. Like, so I look at crypto as, I look at Bitcoin as digital gold. It's a store of value. Some people agree, some people disagree.
Okay.
But to me, it's a store of value in terms of people who want to get money out of the stock market and put it somewhere else. People that essentially want more control of their money. People that want to be able to transfer. Like case in point, recently a milestone was created. There was $1 billion Bitcoin transfer.
Wow.
It cost pennies.
To transfer that? Wow.
Yes.
Walter,
So-
that's what you and Ron did? I didn't know.
Mike, I was trying not to let the cat out of
It
the
was
bag. So
that
yes.
simple.
But yeah, so it's that's a big thing about it. It's essentially the draw for Bitcoin is for people that want to get their money out of government hands, so to speak, and they want to be able to transfer their money at will. So you can transfer your money from the U.S. to Brazil to France, you know, with the click of a button.
To ISIS.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Here we go. No, technically, yes. To Mike Schein.
Thank you. Today.
Send it to me today.
But the point is, you can do it for pennies on the dollar, or there's blockchains where it's free. Like there's one blockchain I'm part of, and it also has a social media aspect to it. I actually blog on the website regularly. I'm part of a bunch of communities, you know, like finance. I mean, even guys that trade stocks. I mean,
well, wait a sec. So you said you're part of a blockchain. So what?
well, I mean, I shouldn't say I'm part of it. I mean, I participate in this social media that's connected to this blockchain.
Gotcha.
Run off this blockchain. And that one in particular actually has no fees.
Wow.
Yes, that one I do.
So I've heard that some of the risk around Bitcoin is if it doesn't get chosen as the cryptocurrency for the world, then it's not worth it. Is that?
I mean, that's a valid argument, but
because didn't Microsoft, was it Microsoft who started their own, or?
Well, Facebook tried to, but the government shut them down.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I think eventually they probably will. And that's the thing too. It's also a risk with crypto. I mean, at any point we could have FedCoin, you know, and the Federal Reserve can start their own digital currency. And then it's like, all right, well, what's the need for other cryptos? So that's why I also say, like, what's a use case for the crypto you're going to invest in?
Gotcha.
That's something the government's known for doing. They're very good at making their own money.
Right?
Mitch, I gotta ask. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's no doubt in my mind that at some point there's going to be government digital currencies. That's where we're going. Like, we will be cashless societies at some point. Will it happen in our lifetimes? Maybe, maybe not. But at some point we will be cashless societies.
That works. That's how it works in my house right now. I'm cashless because of my kids.
So I actually do see a cashless society being extremely viable really soon. Like, I don't see it being, I think we do see it in our lifetime. I know in my business we're cashless, right? Like, we don't know what cash is. Tenant comes in and they say, oh, I pay in cash, and they think that's a like good thing. We're like, no, that stops yesterday as of your last landlord. Now you pay via this is electronic website that you click on.
We're moving towards that. We did something this week with the Newport Apartments
Nice.
To say you can either do a ACH transfer, or you can do like you said, the Cozy, Mitch.
That's what I use.
Or also we just have they can send us a check if they want to with their bill pay system. Because no more cash, because people are running around handing cash to my partner, and then he hands it to me, and then I go to the bank. It's just, yeah, it's not necessary.
No, there's a much easier way to do this. And you know what? If COVID-19 doesn't wake everybody up and say, hey, we don't actually need to high five as often anymore. We're wasting a lot of time driving all over the place, right? Like, I miss the high fives and I miss the big meetings. But at the same time, my life is so much more efficient now. I feel like I'm accomplishing so much more. I'm still spending time with my friends.
I'm sure, you know? Because you were doing 12 RIA meetings a month.
Ridiculous.
You can sit at your office and not waste that travel time.
Yeah. I'm not driving to Connecticut, Rhode Island, Mass.
That's
Boston.
a full-time job.
Yeah.
12? I was doing 4 down in Florida, and even that felt overwhelming.
Really? Yeah. If people don't know what a RIA meeting, it's a Real Estate Investors Association meeting in every state, city. There's lots of them. They're all over the place, and it's a great place to network.
Yeah, it's a powerful place to network. That's where I met Mike Schein.
Yeah.
It was at a RIA.
Yeah.
And I mean, case in point, that's why you go to RIAs. That's why you even go to, like, sometimes, you know, you go to seminars. I mean, bottom line is, I went to the Jake and Gino event in Orlando last year in September, October. That event is basically the starting point to how I know Galter, how do I know Mike Schein, because I met Dorina at that event, who then introduced me into, you know, to the rest of the Massachusetts crew, so to speak. So, I mean, that seminar was worth its weight in gold just because of the contacts I made.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the networking, what is it? Your network is your net worth. So
Correct.
Network is your net worth.
And you're sitting there frustrated saying, oh, I want to get into real estate, but I can't. I don't have the money or whatever. The first place to go And like Walter said, it's easy to go now because it's all online. You just jump on a Zoom, just look at meetup.com.
Yep.
There's plenty of real estate meetings. And
I will make one point about the Zoom calls. What I've noticed is a big part of it is how you kind of execute and handle it, because all my meetups in South Florida that were a little more, I don't know, casual, which we enjoyed because it was just like-minded people. You get in a room, you talk with who you want to talk. There was no clear, real organization to the event. There was no set speaker or anything like that. Those events have not done well on Zoom.
No,
they really haven't. So ironically, I found that my Massachusetts networking and the meetups with Massachusetts have been so much better than with Florida, because most of my Florida meetups outside of the RIAs weren't organized in terms of that way. And we talked about that because I do a coffee meetup down here that we have a great turnout every month. And the format kind of was, you know, introduction, and then we kind of go around the room and everyone gets to say hello real quick. And then from there we get into Q&A.
Yep.
We haven't done that on Zoom, I guess, because maybe we feel like there's too many people or whatever it is. And I was just like, we should try and get back to that format because it's kind of just all willy-nilly and the crowds hasn't been as good. And I don't know if people are getting value out of this. So at a minimum, you know, that would give us some direction without even still it being, you know, totally formal.
Yeah, a little structure goes a long way. Mitch, if you want a hand structuring it, let me know. I'm down to jump down there with you via the internet, via the Zoom.
You know, 100%. And it's funny too, because the one RIA that I'm part of down here that I ended up kind of hosting, I didn't run it, but I hosted it because the woman who owned it, she was sick for a while.
Yep.
She's unfortunately, like, COVID was kind of like the gut punch, and she's going to end up winding it down, which is unfortunate because it was a good RIA. I looked into taking it over myself, but she had partners and stuff, and I guess there was some drama with that. So it didn't end up being a good fit, but it's unfortunate to see that wind down. But that was a formal meeting because it was a RIA, but also we allowed for a good chunk of networking, and I think that's what people enjoyed. I think you need to find that balance, because there's some meetups where you don't even really get to network. It's just like, come in, sit down, listen to our speaker. All right, good night. And it's just like, well, I want to network.
The Rhode Island one, it's gotten back to normal, just like it was at the hotel. We have a beginner, Craig Picard teaches a beginner session. There's a time to say what you do if you're in the industry. Then they have a speaker. And what was neat was from 8:30 on, people were just shooting questions back and forth. And I guess because we had already gone through the speaker and that kind of stuff, it had a little bit more structure. I was pleasantly surprised. That was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, Boston one, what's the one that Darina runs? That one was very well organized.
Hers is Newton. She does the Newton multifamily investors, and then
Matt Pitchney.
Matt Pitchney. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
I've actually physically been to that one.
Yeah.
Really?
I met Mitch at that one.
That's when me and Galter actually met in person. We were only Zoom friends before that.
Yep.
Yeah, I made it a point because it happened to be going on when I was up there last fall, and I just like, I'm getting there. I'm like, sleep is overrated. I'm getting there.
That's right. It is overrated. And then we're running the Boston one, and it is, you have to have structure in these. But I want to pull this back because as important as networking is.
North Kingstown.
Well, and hold on, let me interrupt.
North Kingstown disappeared because you pulled it back.
Yes. Unfortunately, I end up jumping on this call with you guys when I actually have another call. So I literally need to leave in like 1 minute because I have an 11 o'clock. So
okay, Mitch, while you're still here, I got a quick question for you.
Please explain Bitcoin. Go.
So of all the things that you do, which one pays you the most? Stocks, Bitcoin, or real estate? Where would you say your money is?
That's a leading, because he's like, I know it's real estate. And here's the thing. It is real estate. Real estate has by far been the best to me. Real estate is the most consistent return. Real estate is the return that I have the most control over. All right.
You heard it here. Mitch Jaworski, Scaredy-Cat Guide for investing in rental properties. That's where he makes all his money. Even if he's talking about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or the blockchain or
it's honestly, it really is the most consistent, and it is the thing that you can actually build passive wealth in easiest.
Yep.
You know, as far as percentage returns, we won't get into that because to answer the question before about crypto, my thing about crypto in terms of like how it is a percentage of my investment is that I have none of my money in crypto. I got my initial investment out 3.5 years ago. Everything I have in crypto is pure profit. So in a way,
Okay.
I'm a little more loosey goosey with it because
Yeah.
it's house money.
Right.
So I have a portfolio of like 12 coins. None of that money is a single dollar of mine.
Nice.
And I did pull profits out too when we were going bonkers.
Infinite return. Nice job.
Yeah. So exactly, it's literally an infinite return. It's kind of like when you do you know, a value add rental and you refi out and you have zero money in it.
Right. Exactly.
Like the first two projects that
Robert Kiyosaki talks about that all the time.
exactly. So it's like, what's my cash on cash return? Well, it's infinity because I pulled all my money out of it.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Where we all want to be.
The beauty is with real estate, you have control over that. Like I can't do that with a stock or with crypto unless that stock goes up a ton for me. I have no control over whether that stock or crypto goes higher in price. With real estate, there's opportunities to do value add where I can create that increase. And
Right.
that's why, as Galter was pointing out, real estate's number one. So
Number one.
So I want to give Mitch, before he jumps off, a plug. So first of all, you can get both of those books on Amazon, Scaredy-Cat Real Estate, and is it Bitcoin or is it?
Bitcoin, yeah. Scaredy-Cat Guide to Investing in Rental Properties and Scaredy-Cat Guide to Knowing What the Heck Bitcoin is. And
And
pretty soon, the
also-
Scaredy-Cat Guide to Winning Back Your 401k book will be out.
Nice. And he also has a Scaredy-Cat calculator on his website, which is really helpful for
What's the website, Mitch?
It is ScaredyCatGuide.com.
ScaredyCatGuide.
In fact, you usually have that in my little name. I didn't change the name this time.
Calculator's awesome. And then also Mitch coaches with Walter's stuff. You're usually there on Saturday morning, right?
Can I tell you, like the Saturday mornings, like forget I'm a coach. I would be there regardless. You don't understand the lift that Saturday morning call gives me every weekend.
Ditto,
Like
ditto.
I am juiced the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
And sometimes, listen, we all have good days, we all have bad days. And this past week, like Friday was just a blah day. And like, I woke up Saturday morning on the wrong side of the bed. And by the end of that Saturday morning call, I was amped.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So-
That's at walteramarello.com. Those are the 52 wealth principles, 52 weeks of wealth principles. I'm there, except not this weekend because I'm going camping. Sorry.
I'll be
do the
there.
same without you, Mike.
And
I'll do the book of the week.
other coaches in there, and it's a lot of fun and it's free. And yeah.
What's the book of the week? If I have it, I can plug it. I don't know if I have it.
Oh, I love it. Book of the week is A Whole New Mind. If you haven't read it yet, you're gonna love it.
I'm gonna have to add it to the
I
list.
read that
Right now I'm reading the Big Shifts Ahead that you recommended,
Nice.
which is awesome.
Wait,
Right?
what's it called, Walter? What's the book?
A Whole New Mind. And Mike,
I know. I already read that. You asked. You told me to read
Gentlemen,
Ready?
I hate to leave. I would love to stay on. I'm actually disappointed that I couldn't get a full hour with you guys, but I got to jump on this 11 o'clock call.
We'll use you as a substitute when one of us can't make it for the 100 Millionaires. You can.
If that ever happens,
Right.
then Mitch, you are our first, the
Yes,
first runner-up.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to crash another time.
That's it, brother. No, we want to take you back in. I'd like to do this again, maybe next week or the week after. I got a bunch of questions for you.
Yeah, maybe we can do something a little more set where like I kind of know what you want to talk about going in.
Oh, very cool. All right.
So awesome,
Hey,
guys.
Mitch
Appreciate you
Jaworski.
letting me join, and I will see you guys this weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good,
All
brother.
right. Take care. Peace.
Later.
Peace.
Mike, that was so cool. I love talking shit about Bitcoin. Like it's like my secret. Everybody has their things that make them happy in life,
Yeah.
and like yeah, he's making a lot of money in crypto, right? There's no doubt about it. It's like you and Tesla. We'll always pick on you, but we're always supportive and loving, and we hope
Yeah.
Tesla continues to skyrocket. In fact, I now own Bitcoin, and I can
Nice.
proudly say I own just about as much Tesla.
Do you own a coin or do you own like an ETF or whatever?
So I own percentage shares. So a percentage of a coin. So it to buy a whole Bitcoin to me would be a ridiculous waste of money.
Is that like a symbol though? Like, do you just buy it as on the, your Schwab or whatever account?
So if you're a trader, if your brokerage account allows you to trade crypto, then it's just like buying a stock. It's very similar. It just has no regulations.
Gotcha.
So one of the companies I use for trading, I use Ameritrade and I use Robinhood. And in Robinhood, they allow you to buy cryptocurrency. And now Robinhood, I don't have as much money in. I like day trade with it. It's like it's a quick app to use.
Yeah.
And so I have
did I tell you, Chicken Genius did a YouTube where he showed his actual portfolio.
Yeah.
And he has his one which has like 90% Tesla and 10% Square.
No way.
It's called something. I forgot what he calls that account. But then his other account that has like 3 or 4 stocks in it, he calls it his Itchy Fingers account.
Yes. This is my Itchy Fingers account.
Yeah, right? Because you always want to pull the trigger. Oh God, it's so tempting.
That's what I love about Chicken Genius is he's so undiversified. He puts all his eggs in one basket and he just runs with it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the model that Warren Buffett suggests that you use. Something's going to win. Look, if you diversify, you're not going to make any money.
That's why I piled into Tesla at such a low, I mean, not low, but it was like in the 400s. But
right.
I piled a bunch in there because of listening to Chicken Genius and a couple other guys that said they, and also I watched The Wealth Principle. He said, put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. So,
guard that basket.
Yeah. So,
well.
Yeah. But it's funny with Mitch, it's like one of those people who, as soon as I met him, there was some sort of connection. He's just a good guy. And that was the whole point of us having that barbecue at my house. So that was Mitch was coming up from Florida. He said, it's good.
And it made sense because everybody in the community got to meet Mitch. Right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of reasons behind it.
He should really write a biography of, because he has an interesting backstory. So, yeah. So anyway, maybe I'll tell him to do that. So
we're going to we'll strong arm him into it.
Yeah.
Dude, this conversation's making me reevaluate my portfolio. So
that was such a great conversation because if you think about it, okay, we all own real estate, okay? We all own stocks, and you two own Bitcoin. I don't have any, but if you looked at the 3 heads, there was one that's top focus is real estate, one on stocks, and one on Bitcoin. Right there, it was like a triangle. It was neat.
Right.
We all respect each other's, and we're in it. But what's the top priority? Yeah.
And when we all look at what's paying the most right now, you know what? I will say Tesla this month, if you've got enough stock, Tesla's been a big win, right? Almost like what a house would make you, right? Like if you got enough of it.
You have no idea.
I love it. And
my sister texts me. She's like, "Are you retiring?"
If Tesla paid a dividend,
Yeah, right.
which they don't yet, and so my biggest issue with them, right? It's one of those things.
Yeah. Well, you can always sell it and take pay the taxes on it.
But it's got me looking at my portfolio, and I'm the guy who says, focus on one thing. Focus on one thing, one egg, put all your eggs in one basket. I'm looking, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks, 10 companies in my buy and hold account.
Yeah.
My buy and hold account should only have one. It should be one company that I'm all in on. And
Square.
I've diversified so much.
Square.
BRG.
I'm not making any stock recommendations. I love the Square story, and Jack Dorsey, the inventor, the founder of Twitter, basically took Elon Musk's model from PayPal, and he's doing everything that Elon stopped doing with PayPal. It's a disruptor. So again, this is not stock. Here's what I say: go go look at Square, do some research on Square, see what they're trying to do.
What's
See,
the ticker?
SQ.
SQ.
And you know, they're the ones when you
Just
have
SQ.
yep, you have an iPhone and you have the little attachment that you can run a credit card. That's part of their, what's it called? It's not an environment. It's called the Apple ecosystem.
I've used Square before.
Yeah,
So, I
you use it all the time. You get the
I own the Square. Yeah.
but the thought, if Square succeeds in what it's going to do, you won't need banks. Okay, so your account, your money from your tenant will go right into whatever place you need it to go for your, for your spending money or your investments or everything. It's all in one place, and so you don't have to have that middleman, the bank. It's pretty amazing technology. So
It's interesting. It's it's again, you got to believe in the company,
right.
and you got to know where they're going and what they're doing, and
That's why you have to do research. If you're listening to us, please do your research. You know, people buy stocks because it goes by on the ticker on CNBC, and it's like, really? That was the whole thing with Robinhood. Robinhood had people buying Nikola stock. Okay, they do the electric vehicle, hydrogen vehicle, although they've never built one vehicle at all. But it was on trending on the Robinhood site, so all these millennials were just buying it, saying it was great. And then I watched a YouTube about the fact that there were all these pipe investors who got it at $10, and as soon as they were released and allowed to sell those shares, sell them at any price over $10 and make money. So it wasn't a surprise when it went from like 80 to 50.
It's nuts.
And if you're buying at 80, thinking it's going to be the next Tesla, you should do some research, because it's
Right.
You need to do your research. That's all I have to say.
I mean, you have to. You can't do this business without knowing what you're doing. This is investing, right? This is not working where you just show up and you spend your time. This is investing. Your money comes and goes with the amount of knowledge that you have on the table.
And I know I've talked about my dad before, but my dad's been trading stocks or investing in stocks for over 50 years. And his strength is that he read everything, which is the same strength. His hero is Warren Buffett, and Warren reads everything. That's what he does all day, is he just reads prospecti. Anyways, and he prospectus. Yeah, and and that's what my dad does. So any of these companies, he gets Barron's, he gets Investors Business Daily, and some of his best ideas, he said, come from, he'll just see a little snippet in the back of a Barron's that no one has read, and then he'll say, oh, this is interesting, and he'll do a little research on it, buy a few shares, and then 10 years later it becomes whatever. Like right now, Moderna is a big stock today because it has a success with some of their vaccines. It's up to like 80 something today. My dad bought it at 16.
Wow.
So how did he know? Okay, because you and I are watching, or maybe not you, but I'm watching CNBC, and it's the first time I ever saw Moderna was a couple of weeks ago when my brother said he bought some.
Right.
But like I said, it's all right there. It's right there in black and white or on the internet in your Barron's. You may spend $300 a year, but if you make one good trade, then the Barron's for $300 a year was worth it. Or Investors Business Daily, it's worth it, because if you're reading like that, you're going to find that one thing that you think, oh, everybody else is reading this because it's right here in black and white. That's not true. A lot of people are lazy. They're not doing any of this sort of research. So if you, I remember my dad, so he's retired and he's in a retirement community, but he has a group of guys that they all sit and talk like before COVID, like once a month. And they had presenters, and my dad presented, there was like an insurance guy and a banker and a real estate guy, and they're all doing stuff. But my dad did a presentation for his 10 guys on disruptive companies. And his whole thing was 3D printing. And my dad was buying all that stuff such that the other people in the group were saying things like, is it too late? Is it too late for me to get into it? Because it's plenty of money, but no, but my dad knew about all those 3D printers before they went crazy because he reads and he did the research. So
Right.
yeah.
I love it. And so at the end of the day, if you're investing in real estate, if you're investing in stocks, if you're investing in a cryptocurrency, blockchain, that blockchain technology, then it's about the research. I was on the run this morning with Dorina and I asked her the simple questions, right? Thank you, Mike. I keep my heart going, right?
Oh, awesome.
So I give so much, I got to make sure I'm around to give more. So
that's like the biggest benefit I got from of being married to Brenda. Brenda must say good job or great job like 50 times. It's like you with your fist bumps.
Yeah.
Constantly telling people good job. Yeah, it's awesome.
So that it keeps us young, keeps us alive and happy. And so she was, I told her, I want to buy more. And she mentioned a property. And like I said, hey, I want to buy more. She said, well, have you seen this one? We're about to take a listing and it's still off market. And I was like, what are the numbers? And we started doing a little conversation about it. I was like, you know what? 65,000 a unit is kind of high for me. It's not what I typically buy at. But if those bedrooms are 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, I will very seriously consider that and maybe put that offer in. And since I know the person who's owns the property, I may get it at a slightly better deal than what, because he's not gonna have to pay commissions on this, right? We'll just take this in house. And so it's about doing the research, knowing the research. I know my numbers because I've done them so much. I know the area, I know the street, I know exactly.
So that's what I love about you. I was thinking about this the other night. You have so much confidence in what you're doing, and so like I watch when you're buying these properties. No, it's important because I think that a lot of people question themselves, but really the reason I'm good at doing closings is because I've done a ton of closings. So I know what's coming. But if you get a first time home buyer, that's all a panic because they haven't seen these documents before. So when it comes to you, real estate and the numbers, Fall River, your numbers, and you're extremely confident. So it's not like you have any hesitation because you're like, yeah, I'm going to pay $55 a door and that's the end of it. And I know exactly what it is. And I know what my property manager, and I'm done. And it's just, I think that's why a lot of your students gravitate to you because they know that you know what you're doing, not one of these hucksters online who's saying that they do real estate, but they've never done it.
Never done a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, man. I'll tell you what, that knowing the numbers gives me confidence too.
Yeah, exactly.
We're putting our money behind it. So
I think that some of my, some of the times when I'm hesitating is because I don't know the numbers necessarily. Yeah. And so that's kind of a goal of mine is to learn them. And I'm getting better and better as I analyze more and more deals because it's really not complicated. Remembering things like utilities and whether the tenants are paying and garbage and what your property manager pay, what the percentage is, and like the Scaredy-Cat calculator is a great place to start with that because it does give you a little.
It really is. It really is. It's all about the numbers and it's about your manager. Like at the end of the day, Mike, if I didn't know how my manager managed, I wouldn't be able to buy property.
Right.
But I know what her costs are. I know what it costs to repair things. I know like how, if something happens, I know we have a solution for what that solution is going to cost. And like that, I've had other managers, I didn't feel that way. Right. So it really is about having the manager to know the numbers by, and because like, yes, and the Scaredy-Cat calculator is actually extremely accurate when you have a good manager, right? Because I know my management costs. I can put those in. I can plug them in accurately.
Perfect. So what do you pay, like 8 to 10% or somewhere in there, or what's your?
Yes, we're at 9% right now. We're probably going to go down to 8 as we pick up more property. She gives us a little bit of a discount.
Cool.
But she, she gets us on the other side of it, right? If she has to send somebody out there that costs us money, if like, just like it costs her money to send somebody, so
absolutely.
She just passes that along. And she makes a percentage of all the renovations. She makes a percentage of any time there's a vacancy, she puts a new tenant in. And we have enough units and we do enough activity to create vacancy, right? Yeah. So she knows, just like we know, we want a little bit of vacancy in our portfolio because it means that we're raising rents. It means we're improving the buildings.
Right. Right. Yeah,
So
they
she'll
always
make
say
money off of investors like us.
if you've got 100%, it might be a problem
That's
there.
right.
You're too low on your rents. So.
It's true. If you get 100%, you haven't hit the market yet.
Right.
Grant Cardone has a saying about hitting the list. You know, how many times should you hit your email list?
Yeah.
You keep hitting it until you get some unsubscribes, right?
That's awesome.
Hit the list until you get enough stop sending me stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey,
And at that point, you know, okay, that might be the boundary for the list because your community wants all your content anyway.
yeah, that's cool.
Your tenants want to live somewhere anyway. So you know if they're not leaving, you're probably under market.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'd like to get to 10 buildings by the end of the year, so maybe we can work on that.
It's not about 10 buildings. It's about whatever that cash flow would be.
Right. Exactly.
Whatever that appreciation play would be.
I guess the reason I say 10 is because I see the cash flow from 5.
There you go.
I just want to double the cash flow, but you're absolutely right. It's just about that.
Yeah, because
Cash flow. Yep.
it may be one building. It may be one building that does it.
Oh, speaking of which, I got a deal to talk to you about.
Oh, very interesting. Let's so that said, know the numbers, do the math.
Like a team.
Yeah. That's our segue out of here.
Yeah.
So Mike Schein, the holistic attorney, what is your signing off sentence? Say it for us. Sign us out of here, Mike.
I'm looking for massive income from passive income.
Thank you so much for paying attention, Mike, for contributing. Like, share, subscribe. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to learn more, go visit GualterMonroe.com. We'll have this episode listed up there within a couple days, couple weeks.
Awesome.
It will be listed at some point.
Yeah.
You can find us out on SoundCloud. Give us a review on iTunes. We appreciate it. It allows us to keep doing more of this. And if there's a topic you'd like us to discuss, put it in the notes below. We can gladly. Me and Mike have no problem talking about any topic.
Love it. Love it. Yeah.
When you have a choice, always work with the best. Cheers to your success. We are making 100 millionaires. Help us do it. Thank you. And signing off.
I don't know. And we're still